So good morning all of you. This is me, Adnan Gauri, the founder and director of iWorkstation. I welcome you all for the iWorkstation BIM series by Beata. So I would like to introduce Beata. She is an ArchiCAD expert for the last 10 years, have been teaching and assisting architects in learning the usage of ArchiCAD, Artlantis, Cinema 4D, and Vectorworks. She is also currently heading an institute called BIM Education Limited, and she is the founder of it. So I would like to welcome Beata for having a session with us today. Yes, Beata.
Hello, everyone. We are meeting here to talk about BIM in interior design because I don't know how much of you are interior designers. I think most of you, if you are coming just here. But this what I will show you, this what I would like to show you is how this all work process between interior designers and other specialists like mechanics, architects, and everybody who is working on the project should really looks like, because work of interior design is working with a little bit different way and with a little bit different work. But before we start, it's me. My name is Beata Skrzypiec. I'm from Poland, that's why my surname for some of you could sound a little bit strange. I'm interior designer. I'm working on some houses, restaurants and hotels, but my separate work is my own training company where I'm teaching how to use ArchiCAD, how to, the main focus is how to use ArchiCAD and how to design interiors. And even if when I'm teaching how to use ArchiCAD, it's more focused on this interior design work. What are we talking today? Why interior designers should learn about BIM? I will tell you also how this collaboration work looks like between interior designers and other people, and we try to show you how to set in this project elements which, because I'm teaching ArchiCAD and I'm mostly working on ArchiCAD when I'm designing, making full project. So I will focus on ArchiCAD and show you what normally people who are designing interiors forget. And I mostly focus on just, okay, let's make nice project, but they forget about this, that we should collaborate with others, and you should from the beginning, the best if you from the beginning set something in ArchiCAD, and when you are designing you should to focus on those elements and set those as well. How interior designers, I will give you the link later, and you can download, when I finish the presentation, you can download this presentation so everybody could repeat this all knowledge. How normally interior designers working now? We are working on two different projects. I think 90% of people are mostly working when customers are coming to us, there is ready house or ready restaurant or ready building, and they're coming to us and, okay, let's design interior. We are not normally working from the early beginning process that somebody is coming, okay, I have idea. Maybe when we are designing hotels, then it's something like that happen, that somebody has idea, okay, let's make some new hotel in some place, and everybody are working together, and even interior designers in this process working from the beginning, and we are collaborating together. But mostly happen something like the first version, that we start with some building which exists, and we are making renovation in this building. BIM for interiors requires a richer level of details and information compared to most other disciplines, because mostly when architect creating some house, some building, there are just walls, windows, slabs, roofs, that's it. But interior designer need to think about furniture, about some finished material surfaces, about some many details. We are not really care about existing walls. We are not really care about windows, how big they should be, because we can't really change in exterior how building really looks like. We are caring about some more details, and it's a little bit different kind of work. And in this collaboration, and we just come to this collaboration, it's very important that we set this all elements in the right way. And this is what I said, that most of interior designers, they are focused on, okay, customers are coming to us, we need to make nice apartment, and they absolutely don't care about this, that somebody needs to set all electric, all plumbing, everything. Some of interior designers also are doing everything. If it's a small project, probably most of people are doing everything. They're not collaborating. But if it's a bigger project, and even if it's not bigger project, it could be nice if we create this project in proper way, because in 5 years, our customer probably will need this project, and we make some innovation, some change. He is not, so one more time, in quick way. ArchiCAD architect is designing full house. He's exporting this house to plumbing engineer, interior designer, so for us, and many different specialists. But if architect is working on ArchiCAD and plumbing engineer is working in AutoCAD or something different, he can't really open ArchiCAD file in his software. That's why we are not exporting our native file, this project, on something like EFC. It's international, universal, I think, file which can open any software. And the second one is that we are not designing, we are not creating, we are not exporting everything, because plumbing engineer, we don't need to know some details which, for example, we would like to know, like interior designers. And if we are on the beginning of this process, we are creating interior designer, and we need to share some software, some file later with plumbing engineer, with structure, with anybody else who is working on this project, we need to know what kind of elements he needs to know. What kind of files, what should be in this project, in this file, what kind of information for every of those specialists. Because interior designers are creating, for example, furniture, how kitchen should look, full furniture of the kitchen, and plumbing engineer don't really need to know how looks the furniture in the kitchen. He does not care about this. He needs to know where he should to set some points for water. And it's waste of really time, and the file should be prepared that everybody will get this, what they need. And how normally looks like, mostly looks like for everybody who is not using BIM, is lack of information about the details of the project, ends in the fact that we are designing everything. What it means that because we don't, if we are not, how to say, we are designing everything. We are designing all details about electric points, about plumbing, about everything, because we don't know how to really save this project, interior project, for others. That's why we are designing everything in this project. Well, it's something like here. And here, it's something more bigger information about that. On the beginning, every project we should set a BIM execution plan, where we are sitting on the beginning with our customer, with all specialists, before we really start the working on the project, and we should sit, talk what our customer really need. If he's mentioned that he need to change all apartments, make 3 rooms from 5 rooms, for example. And then, okay, we know we have some information from our customers, but we also need to talk on the beginning what every plumbing engineer, electrical engineer, everybody we really need from us. And that we don't need to place every electric point, every plumbing, some electrical system. Our plumbing engineer, just we are asking him what he really need, and he's just answer, okay, I need to have information where will be the walls and in which distance we need this and this, where I need to place something like that. I don't need information about furniture, I don't care about materials, finishing, lights or something else. But electric engineer, we need information where the lamps we would like to place in the slab. And we need to have this information that we really know how to design this whole project and how to export later this all files to everyone. That for plumbing engineer we have something different, from somebody else we have something different. And before all, when we are working in this process, we are all the time working on one file. And in this process, yes, we are just saying, okay, let's make all the project. We are even exporting in DWG to somebody our file. Plumbing engineer is working on something, but in the meantime, our customer always is coming. Okay, so let's move this wall, or let's make this half meter in this direction or that direction. We forgot to inform everyone. We just changed this in our project, and later there are some mistakes because it's not automatically updated, and there are some mistakes that some plumbing engineer, we move it on our plan, and plumbing engineer, it didn't move on his project. So here's one more about BIM. This I think I just mentioned before, but what else about when we are working with BIM is much more faster, because we don't need to create everything. We are working on one file. It's very easy to make scheduling because everything is 3D. Every element in our project has some information about that. For example, when we are designing something, we have some furniture, we place some furniture in the project. We can set with this one object in our project all information, what manufacturer it can be, what exactly model, how it's caused, where to find even this cost, so what kind of material, surfaces, everything. In every element in our project we can set as many information as we wish, and later creating some schedule it's very easy because it's just said, okay, I would like to know how much table I have in my project and cost of those all table, all information, where to find this, what manufacturer, just one click and everything will be done automatically. And this is also quite interesting, I think, even for our customer, because he's not really caring about some plans more. Mostly people don't understand the plans, but 3D and even virtual reality, it's made from our project because everybody is working in 3 dimension, not just do WG, not 2D. And it's great for our customers, what to say. And they're always happy when they can see something like that. We have one model. We are not working on many different models because everything is modeled and the models from all consultants are linked, and interior design is able to see every electrical box and plumbing or lights. So we can control in this project, if we said, okay, let's make this lamp in this and this point, and we send this file to electric engineer, and later he is giving back this file from here, and we can check, okay, our object of our lamp, it's here, it's exactly in the same place, and this electric point, is he made exactly in our place. And also for him, if he have the 3D model, he can see in his software, okay, here's this object, I need to place this object here. It's much more faster work to doing something like that, and less mistakes because we can see everything in 3D. It's much more better work like that. It's not moving. We are not on 2D plans and on 2D plans. The first, you can even make mistakes, the first, but the second one, you can place element where you would like, and nobody can really check this. You can just make some fake project. This, what I mentioned, furniture in the project. Just scheduling, that you can really sort those all elements which you place, even finishing materials which you place, ties in the bathroom, that it will be calculated automatically. You just need to set a proper way this all scheduling. In short, this is, I think, the most benefits in working in BIM. When we are just creating the project, it's because it's 3D model. This is what I say, that everybody can really see where it is. And it's really hard for everyone because sometimes time is running, it's not time to make some corrections. And if you are working on just plans, it's much more easy for people that they will place some just some lines or to place something in some place, but on the dimension, just thinking that we placed some element, for example, 3 meters from some wall, but it should be in 2 meters. And when we are working on the plans, it's much more easy to just make something like fake dimension and write, okay, it's really in the 2 meters from this wall. But when you are working on this 3D model, it's not possible to make something like that. From one side, it can sound that, okay, so it takes more work from me, and we should focus very well on this 3D model, and it will take the time. But it's mostly people are afraid in the beginning when they don't really know very well the software where they are designing. but later it's very easy, it's very quick way, very fast we can design in this BIM idea, because everything is in 3D and everything we can really nice design, and everything is connected with every specialist, construction, architects, and it's really much more faster to work like that. And we don't need, we can't really forget about this whole idea of the BIM. Okay, just got information that we have 10 minutes, but I'm almost finished. We can forget about this whole idea about BIM, because it's something like working on the project. It's not finished with the end of our project. This project made in BIM is very welcome to have something like that for managers of the of this house, of this building which we are designing, because when we just created some interior design for apartment, and later, 5 years later, something broke in the house, even if the owner of the house is in a very quick way, he can check, okay, broke this, I should to find in this website, I should to look some replacement in this website, this manufacturer, this model of this element. When we are designing hotel, it's absolutely amazing that we have something such project, because later manager of this hotel can very quick, he has all information where to, when we should to make appointment for our service ants, when we should to check our lamps, or even all information are in the project, and later it's very easy to make some innovation, to make some service in the house where or the hotel or restaurant or whatever we just designed. The main term is EFC, and we should do really that's why it's very important, because everybody are scared about software, that they will not able to work, and that everybody are afraid that everyone, he is working on AutoCAD, he is working on ArchiCAD, he is working on Vectorworks, and okay, we should work together, but we don't want to change our software. We don't need to change our software. We can work in this where we are designing till now, even in the future, because we are exchanging this ArchiCAD EFC model, and EFC we can export from every kind of software where we are designing. And this what is very important, especially for interior designers, because we like to forget about this. We are just caring about our project and don't think about nothing else. When we place, no matter what we place in the program, there is always, you need to check if you are working on different software. For sure, you can check something like in the window of information of our project. We can, there for sure will be something like classification, and we need to really in proper way to set this all information for every element which we just put in our project, to set right classification. So if it's the wall, I should set that it is a wall, that it's not, I don't know, share or something else. Because later, if plumbing engineer is telling to us that he needs to have in this EFC model, he needs to see where are the wall arcs, and we set something like that we not click this one tick in the file, we not select the wall and not set the classification, and we export such model. It will just plumbing engineer will open this file and okay, hello, but there are not walls. How I should work on this file? And this is the most important. I think we can, if we know our software is great, we can create great interior design project, but we are not thinking that we need to collaborate. And that's why it's so important that every element in your software will be right classification. We can also set properties. We can create much more properties. Here are some general, which are in ArchiCAD, but we can set so many properties as we wish. For example, if I have some furniture, let's say some bed, that I can set in the properties as many information as I wish. You can see that it's not classification, but it don't need to be. Our furniture do need to be classification. It's nice if we really set every element in our project right classification, but to be honest, our specialists, plumbing engineer, electric, and everybody who is working, will be working with us on this project, he don't really need to know where our beds are in this project. It's not information for him. It's quite important for electric engineer to set where the lamps should be. But it's nice to have something like that's every element which we have proper classification, that everything will be classification in right way. In ArchiCAD we have also something like renovation, that we can set that this wall, okay, this wall exists now, but for example we would like to place another wall, and this wall will be new one.
IFC, right? How you can share the data and the information from one software tool to another software tool, right?
Yeah. So one more, because we I have too small screen, I think. I can, okay. So when you set this all information, you just need to export. No save as, just go the first, before you will export, go to translators, EFC translators. But if in ArchiCAD, when we are working with this ArchiCAD classification, we don't really need to go here, because it's everything really proper way, that it's something like wall from ArchiCAD, it will be exported as wall. This will be exported like this. So when we save such file later, save as EFC.
Absolutely.
And this EFC, plumbing or electric engineer, we import to his project or to some extra software, this EFC file. He can see this model, but he can't really make any change in this file. This is quite important, and when we coming some moment that, okay, we got some file he updated, and there are some mistakes that some plumbing engineer, we move it on our plan, and plumbing engineer, it didn't move on his project. So is one more about BIM. This I think I just mentioned before, but what else about when we are working with BIM is much more faster because we don't need to create everything. We are working on one file. It's very easy to make scheduling because everything is 3D. Every element in our project has some information about that. For example, when we are designing something, we have some furniture, we place some furniture in the project. We can set with this one object in our project all information, what manufacturer it can be, what exactly model, how it's caused, where to find even this cost, so what kind of material, surfaces, everything. In every element in our project we can set as many information as we wish, and later creating some schedule. It's very easy because it's just said, okay, I would like to know how much table I have in my project and cost of those all table, all information, where to find this, what manufacturer, just one click and everything will be done automatically. This is also quite even for our customer because he's not really caring about some plans more. Mostly people don't understand the plans, but 3D and even virtual reality, it's made from our project because everybody is working in 3 dimension, not just do WG, not 2D. And it's great for our customers, what to say. And they're always happy when they can see something like that. We have one model. We are not working on many different models because everything is modeled and the models from all consultants are linked, and interior design is able to see every electrical box and plumbing or lights. So we can control in this project if we said, okay, let's make this lamp in this and this point, and we send this file to electric engineer, and later he is giving back this file from here, and we can check, okay, our object of our lamp, it's here, it's exactly in the same place, and this electric point is he made exactly in our place. And also for him, if he have the 3D model, he can see in his software, okay, here's this object, I need to place this object here. It's much more faster work to doing something like that, and less mistakes because we can see everything in 3D. It's much more better work like that. It's not moving. We are not on 2D plans and on 2D plans. The first, you can even make mistakes, the first, but the second one, you can place element where you would like, and nobody can really check this. You can just make some fake project. This, what I mentioned, furniture in the project. Just scheduling, that you can really sort those all elements which you place, even finishing materials which you place, ties in the bathroom, that it will be calculated automatically. You just need to set a proper way this on scheduling. I just skipped something because I just mentioned exactly about this in short. This is, I think, the most benefits in working in BIM when we are just creating the project is because it's 3D model. This is what I say, that everybody can really see where it is, And it's really hard for everyone because sometimes time is running, it's not time to make some corrections. And if you are working on just plans, it's much more easy for people that they will place some just some lines or to place something in some place, but on the dimension, just thinking that we placed some element, for example, 3 meters from some wall, but it should be in 2 meters. And when we are working on the plans, it's much more easy to just make something like fake dimension and write, okay, it's really in the 2 meters from this wall. But when you are working on this 3D model, it's not possible to make something like that. From one side, it can sound okay, so it takes more work from me, and we should focus very well on this 3D model, and it will take the time. But it's mostly people are afraid in the beginning when they don't really know very well the software where they are designing. But later it's very easy, it's very quick way, very fast we can design in this BIM idea, because everything is in 3D and everything we can really nice design, and everything is connected with every specialist, construction, architects, and it's really much more faster to work like that. And we don't need, we can't really forget about this whole idea of the BIM. Okay, I just got information that we have 10 minutes, but I'm almost finished. We can forget about this whole idea about BIM, because it's something like working on the project. It's not finished with the end of our project. This project made in BIM is very welcome to have something like that for managers of the of this house, of this building which we are designing, because when we just created some interior design for apartment, and later, 5 years later, something broke in the house, even if the owner of the house is in a very quick way, he can check, okay, broke this, I should to find in this website, I should to look some replacement in this website, this manufacturer, this model of this element. When we are designing hotel, it's absolutely amazing that we have something such project, because later manager of this hotel can very quick, he has all information where to, when we should to make appointment for our services, when we should to check all lamps, or even all information are in the project, and later it's very easy to make some renovation, to make some service in the house where or the hotel or restaurant or whatever we just designed. Are we just, because time is running, I could talk and talk about this. And this, the maritime is EFC, and we should do really, that's why it's very important, because everybody are scared about software, that they will not able to work. I will just share my screen. And that everybody are afraid that everyone, he is working on AutoCAD, he is working on ArchiCAD, he is working on Vectorworks, and okay, we should work together, but we don't want to change our software. We don't need to change our software. We can work in this where we are designing till now, even in the future, because we are exchanging this ArchiCAD EFC model, and EFC we can export from every kind of software we are designing. And this what is very important, especially for interior designers, because we like to forget about this. We are just caring about our project and don't think about nothing else. When we place, no matter what we place in the program, there is always, you need to check if you are working on different software. For sure, you can check something like in the window of information of our project. There for sure will be something like classification. And we need to really in proper way to set this all information for every element which we just put in our project to set right classification. So if it's the wall, I should set that it is a wall, that it's not, I don't know, share or something else. Because later, if plumbing engineer is telling to us that he need to have in this EFC model, he need to see where are the wall arcs, and we set something like that we not click this one tick in the file, we not select the wall and not set the classification, and we export such model, it will just plumbing engineer will open this file and okay, hello, but there are not walls. How I should work on this file? And this is the most important. I think we can, if we know our software is great, we can create great interior design project, but we are not thinking that we need to collaborate. And that's why it's so important that every element in your software will be right classification. We can also set properties. We can create much more properties. Here are some general, which are in ArchiCAD, but we can set so many properties as we wish. For example, if I have some furniture, let's say some bed, that I can set in the properties as many information as I wish. You can see that it's not classification, but it don't need to be. Our furniture do need to be classification. It's nice if we really set every element in our project right classification, but to be honest, our specialists, plumbing engineer, electric, and everybody who is working, will be working with us on this project, he don't really need to know where our beds are in this project. It's not information for him. It's quite important for electric engineer to set where the lamps should be. But it's nice to have something like that's every element which we have proper classification, that everything will be classification in right way. In ArchiCAD we have also something like renovation, that we can set that this wall, okay, this wall exists now, but for example we would like to place another wall, and this wall will be new one. Yeah, I almost finished. I think.
IFC, right? How you can share the data and the information from one software tool to another software tool, right?
Yeah. So one more, because we, I have too small screen, I think. I can, okay. So when you set this all information, you just need to export. No, save as, just go the first before you will export, go to translators, EFC translators. But if in ArchiCAD, when we are working with the ArchiCAD classification, we don't really need to go here because it's everything really proper way that it's something like wall from ArchiCAD, it will be exported as wall. This will be exported like this. So when we save such file later, save as EFC.
Absolutely. And can be exported to any of the tool you can.
So here we finished that
Right.
we save this file. And this is what I said, that for example, we got some project from architect, this full model, where the exterior walls, roof, slabs, this we need such information to start our interior design project. But for example, there are some walls in interior walls inside, and we would like to demolish one of the wall. We can't do this. We need to send information to the architect that we would like to demolish this and this wall. He need to do this in this model and send to us this file again. So we can open the file EFC, but we can't make any change in this file. So I think this is quite important.
I have a question for you, Beata. Like most of the people in the West, in the European countries, they are using and adopting ArchiCAD, right?
It's Revit.
It's Revit.
ArchiCAD, I think Revit is even more popular than ArchiCAD. SketchUp for interior designs, I'm telling you how interior design is. SketchUp is quite popular for interior designers as well. And SketchUp also work in the BIM process because not everybody know about this. It's BIM ready.
Right. So if we talk about SketchUp and the ArchiCAD, the ArchiCAD stores the information, whereas the SketchUp doesn't store the information, right? So how it can be involved in the BIM workflows?
I don't know SketchUp, but if they are BIM ready, for sure all elements I also need to have some information. SketchUp is working a little bit in different way because in ArchiCAD we are working with really walls, doors, objects, lamps, and etc. But in SketchUp we are just something like with morph. But for sure, if they're BIM ready, they should know how to make this all classification because it's everything about classification.
Absolutely.
That we need to set.
Right. So how do we collaborate with different stakeholders? Like we have from the Autodesk, that is BIM 360 for the cloud collaboration. Do we have any such kind of platform with the ArchiCAD as well?
Yes, but there are also some, for example, I just click it. BIM Collab, for example, it's something open when we can just share and work together on the project. Just click something on my screen, yeah. And but there are also, yes, ArchiCAD has something like that. But he's when we are from different disciplines.
Right.
We can have one software when we are collaborating. And BIM Collab, as I know, till 5 users, it's free. If I remember right.
So, we have one
share.
question from a participant that is very specific. How to add finishes to a wall? Example, a lacquered glass or a fabric panel. How does ArchiCAD do that? It's very difficult in Revit to do a finish on wall.
Finish into the wall.
Right.
For example, we have some wall here. And we have something like option in the model when we are creating. We are deciding what kind of finish this wall should have. And mostly we are doing something in this way. There was some exactly question about glass.
Yeah, the question was about glass or a fabric panel.
Glass on the fabric panel.
Liquid glass or a fabric panel.
The first you are setting in the model, for example, if it's the wall, it will be in the model. But if you would like to place something new, on the beginning you need to create the software, this material, and it will be available here. So if we have some glass, for example, there are some glasses on this project, there are even more glasses. But if you haven't such glass now, you need to go to the option, elements, attributes, surfaces, and you need to create this material here. If you create this material here, it will be available later in this model.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah, I think she has answered your question. So, like Beata, can you tell me when we talk about taking out the material quantity, is it also possible to take out the material quantities from the ArchiCAD directly?
One more time. Material.
Yeah. Material quantity from the ArchiCAD directly?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Yeah, I think he also has the same question. That person needs to quantify the number of glass panels on a wall. Is it possible?
But that's, I'm trying to imagine what, in what way we would like to set this. This glass. But the glass should be on all wall or just on some one element?
On one element. On one side or the one face of the wall.
It's more difficult. If you would like to something like, I don't know, to half 2 meters of glass and later will be white, if you would like to, because I think it's this what you are asking.
Okay.
If you would like to set something like that, it's more difficult because when we have some wall, it's always full wall. We can't really, before we not creating some, before it will be wasting of time if we create something like, okay, let's say 5 meters glass, later 1000 something different materials. I have 2 pieces of the walls and I can now set the glass on this 1 piece, but it's wasting of time because especially on the beginning you can change your mind and okay, maybe we set the wall on the beginning, but later we're thinking what kind of surfaces it can be. And ArchiCAD has such tool here, which called split. And we just select this wall, click on the split, and you can cut this wall wherever you would like. And now from one wall I can have 2 pieces of the wall, and now one I can change the materials of the one. for something else. And another we have something else. There's also some, to really exactly know where to split, where to cut this wall, in which dimension, what elements. You have something, there are some options for something like that. We need to set palette, control box. Wait, I'm just, and here is something like special point. Wherever you are going, you can see some short line. It's the special point. And we can set, for example, that the special point should be exactly, I would like to cut some wall and make something like 1 meter this material, 1 meter this, 1 meter this, 1 meter this. Right. So 1000 millimeters it will be. So let's set some wall. And now I'm just taking this. You can see that now I have here a line and here one line. Click on this point and I have 2 elements. Again, split. Click in this point and we have 3 different, exactly 1 meter, 1 meter. This one will be a little bit short, but I start to cut from this direction, 1 meter, 1 meter. And on the plan, it looks correct. It's one wall, but I can select and change materials to something different. Not here. Here, something like, it's in this way.
Right.
The problem is that the split, it's not working in this direction, that you can really place, you can make something like such materials, but not horizontal. So you need to set a wall on the wall or place some small wall or morph on this wall on right direction.
Got it.
So
can you also, like, Beata, can you also show some of your projects which you have? I think it's a point cloud model, right?
Yes. You can also import if you have. It's more popular it's not maybe so much popular yet, but it started to be popular to make point cloud, and you can also make in interior point cloud and import this. ArchiCAD itself import point cloud.
Right. Can you show us some of your projects which you have done using the ArchiCAD or the Artlantis or Cinema 4D, a glimpse of it, or even show your website if you have uploaded on your website directly?
So maybe I will just show on the website, sorry, because I'm on my laptop, and you can see on my website, I have something like gallery, where I'm starting publishing. So you can see what kind of result you can take from ArchiCAD. This is renderings made on the, too fast, only in ArchiCAD.
Right.
So I think even if you are not using some extra software, you can make something nice looking pictures. I think I can just go to normal training and you can slowly check what kind of effects you can make in ArchiCAD.
Right. And previously, I read a news stating that ArchiCAD also have a feature in which you can define which BIM standard you want to use. Is it right? Or
Yes,
the which country you want to use? Can you just show it? Like how is it?
but you mean EFC?
No, not IFC. I am talking about the BIM standards. The different countries have their own different standards, right? So
Different
ArchiCAD,
standard, it's more about, yeah. You know, in United Kingdom, they are quite
right? Like
pushing.
the like the layer styles or the line weights or the naming conventions. So it's already been predefined according to a specific country. So these are the standards which different countries adopt. So I read an article. I didn't remember actually, but I read an article few months back about ArchiCAD that it has incorporated BIM standards within its workflow. So can we also like have you used it or yeah?
But ArchiCAD is something like software, and
Yeah, it's
it's not
software.
really about BIM standards. What about BIM? It's more about how we are working on this project.
Okay,
And this is what we are designing in ArchiCAD. We can set whatever we would like, and
right,
that's why we can export this, and we have this all classification, and with new version is even more better because it's 22, now it's 23
right,
actually, and it's even more working on this classification. We can also, you can see when, for example, when I have some wall, and I have, for example, two different classifications. I have ArchiCAD classification, but also Omni class, and we can import such classification to ArchiCAD, and we can use this extra classification, which, but we need to set on the beginning of our project with people with who are we are working with, our customer, in what
right.
way, in which classification we be working, that
Mm.
later you will really know what classification you can set here. You can also set all classification
Absolutely.
like this.
And when
And
we yeah, when we do the modeling in ArchiCAD, so is there also a feature when we where we can do the automated modeling, or is there any automation that is happening with the ArchiCAD?
when we are modeling, mostly when we are creating in ArchiCAD projects, it's, we are working on 2D.
Uh,
And everything what we set on 2D, because it's better, is more clear that you can set all dimensions, everything, and
right.
exactly very clean working than working in 3D. But anything what we just set on this plan
Uh-huh.
is up to, it's available in 3D. And on the elevation, interior elevation. So the way of working in ArchiCAD is very just focus on the plan, make
Right.
as many details as clear as it's only could be, and
Right.
everything else will be automatically created. 3D there is already. You don't need to create separate 3D and separate 2D.
Right.
And even so, elevation, interior elevation, anything what you can create. For example, we create some elevation here. Let me just open. I don't need to create this elevation because this elevation will be here already. It's those colors which we just set. Of course, it's here fonts fonts need to change or something like that. Change this color because it's 1 to 5,000 now. If I will change
Right.
this color, it will be looks better. So Just focus on the plan and the rest will be almost ready. Just everything what we need to do is just something like correction or place some extra dimensions here or something like that. But you don't need to create one more time everything in every single window.
Right. Actually, I would like to tell you that many of the people have asked a lot many questions for your session specifically, but I'll club it down to only one question that most of the people are asking. They want to understand, suppose take an example of me, like if I'm an early stage adopter of BIM and I'm a student and I want to move into the BIM environment in the BIM workflows with the ArchiCAD, right? So
Yeah.
what could be the pathway for the learning as a student or as a fresher? Can you tell me? What could be the pathway for the learning? Like how we should start or how we should move on towards the learning with the BIM and the ArchiCAD?
For sure, as I know, Graphisoft, owner of the ArchiCAD, has something like courses, free courses on the website,
Right.
which for sure it will be welcome to join. It's we show you everything, how to create the walls and this everything. Join, just thinking there's not so many focusing on this. If you know how to create the project in ArchiCAD,
Uh-huh.
in proper way, really it will be walls, it will be not some lines, you are working in 3D, not 2D, and you have already proper project created in proper way.
Mhm.
Later it's just something more advanced knowledge about this all EFC, how to exchange the model with others and how to set this everything. But if somebody just start working on
Right.
ArchiCAD, for sure it will be nice. Just go to the website. There is something like learning, I think it's called, and there are some few courses which showing from the beginning to the end how to set and this everything in how to make the model of in ArchiCAD model of the house. You can download some sample models, sample project where you can download and check how it really looks like, how how the plans, what kind of information are in set in every element. I think it's nice to download such project and you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, the resources and the courses are totally free available on the Graphisoft website, right? Anyone
Yes.
can download it and they can also get the educational version of ArchiCAD and the
Yeah,
project.
and it's 1 year long. You can use it and renew after 1 year to new version. And as long as you are a student, you have education version, full education version for free. So
Right.
you can also use.
Actually, what I did is like almost 1 year back, I downloaded the entire software, the educational version of ArchiCAD. I have downloaded all the tutorials of it and I started watching and trying to learn the ArchiCAD tool. But later I found out like it's somewhat difficult for me to switch from Revit to ArchiCAD.
For sure. That's why it's good. At the beginning, try to create some house, something with this free course. It's something like,
Right.
okay, let's create walls, let's create roofs, create this. And at the end, you have something like simply model, but you also know how to think in ArchiCAD, because for sure it's different from Revit. I used to use Revit, so for sure it's working a little bit different.
Right. Yes, I think Redmi has some question. I have unmuted you. Uh, yes, you can ask. If you have any question, you can directly ask in the chat box. So is there any question from our audience? Okay. I was using ArchiCAD way back in 2003. Yes, if you have any question, you can directly ask to Beata. Yes, yes. Yes, I have unmuted you. You can directly ask to Beata.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you for the great session, Beta. So I was watching your presentation. So I found that you are also using VR for presenting the views to your client. So what kind of software are you using for VR?
Two, actually. Artlantis and Twinmotion.
Okay.
So I'm trying to make renderings in ArchiCAD. This is what I showed on the website was direct from ArchiCAD. So if I don't need to create something extra, an animation, V-Ray, then I'm trying not to go out from the ArchiCAD. But if sometimes I'm doing something like that, then Artlantis or Twinmotion. Twinmotion is, I think, much more better for exterior because there is something like water and it's nice to see when you are watching on the house and then in the interior, but it's also nice.
Okay. And are you also doing your work in AR, augmented reality?
Working in Artlantis, you can make something like panorama or animation. Animation, it's just you're watching movie, but panorama you can make something like set some points and users can jump from this point to this point, and
Okay.
it's yes, it's possible in Artlantis.
Okay. Well, me myself, I'm from Adroit Assistance. We are doing interior projects in BIM using Revit. We recently started. Okay, and there are few. Uh, we are facing some difficulties in few points. So first is measurements. So do you get any already created plan before you start designing, or you go on site and take measurement by yourself?
I'm creating directly in ArchiCAD and start to because in ArchiCAD you are working on the plan, but you are working with full model, so it's not like separate two-dimension to the something like DWG plan somewhere and then export and creating from model from here. I'm direct in 3D and creating everything in ArchiCAD from the beginning. I don't
Right,
know
but
yeah.
yes, but before getting started, you need some site measurements, right? So that is
Yes,
BIM and
but
there
it
is onward.
depends from if we are really working in this beam. It's something I got EFC and I have this full model. But
Okay.
normally 90% of people are not working yet, especially when we are talking about interior designers. So I got something like DWG plan, 2D or PDF, and I'm exporting this to ArchiCAD and creating something, it's called trace in in ArchiCAD. So I can see where those elements are, and from this I'm creating from the beginning three-dimensional model.
Okay. Uh, and I saw you're also working on point clouds. Me myself is a point cloud expert and have worked on point clouds since last 2 years. Do you think working with point cloud for interior projects is it's good?
It's good, especially when you're working on bigger projects, because when you are working with some small apartments, interior design, and it's not really problem. You can go there and make calculating all walls and etc. But if it's more difficult project, something like fabric, and somebody this fabric would like to change to apartments, then it's really welcome to working with that because you have really proper interiors calculating all interiors how it looks like now, and it's less mistakes later during the project. But it all depends of the project, how big the project is. I hope in 10 years, I think BIM Cloud will be something like normal for with what you start the project, to working on the project.
Right. Well, we ourselves are finding it very costly to use point clouds in our project. So as of now, we are switching to total stations for getting accurate measurements on site. But let's see, even we'll switch to point cloud in some months, maybe. And well, what kind of point cloud formats does ArchiCAD accept?
Let me. I think there are two, X, Y, Z, and I forgot because I'm mostly working on this one. Oh, E57 XWZ.
Okay. Well, one last question. We introduced BIM to one of our client, and he was very fascinated with what we are doing. And he requested one thing, that he wants, like if he is giving drawings to his carpenter, then he wants that I should give him also one drawing that suggests that you should cut a plywood board like this, and so that every plywood board can be used at its best, with the minimum wastage. So are you doing something like that?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Okay, so like suppose.
Can I explain? Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So he's asking like there was one of his client who wants to understand how he can optimize his plywood in his work, and how he can minimize the wastage of plywood by just cutting it, and if it's possible, the software tool can identify and define what parts are needed to be cut and how the wastage can be minimized. That was his question.
To be honest, I just started to working with the cloud, but as I know, there is something like add-on which you can really set how many direction distance between points should be, that it will be not too heavy if it's big one, and you can cut this this all map and cut on this exactly what they need in the project. But it's something like goodie, as I remember, to ArchiCAD. I haven't actually here, and I'm mostly working with ready-made. And
right.
So I don't really know how to optimize the map, the cloud from the second side, from side that somebody is operating with the scanner and scanning everything. So
right.
I can't really say how to optimize the file before we get this. But for sure, we, as a user of the BIM point cloud, we can also, there are some goodies, but I'm sorry, I don't remember now. There are some goodies which allow us to optimize this
right.
map, and that we can really work with this map in ArchiCAD.
Yes, you can call me after the session. We can work on this topic.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if there's any question from other participants, we can take it up. Yeah. So it's a really great session by you, Beata, for getting up so
I'm sorry.
early in the morning for us, and presenting a topic on BIM.
If you have any question in the future about ArchiCAD or something, just go to my website and you can find direct contact to me. You can always just contact with me and just write me an email. And I'm welcome to answer.
And Beata, do you also have any free courses for our participants?
There will be something like free because now it's free about ArchiCAD, but in Polish language, and I'm now switching to ArchiCAD to English, so it will be available on the beginning of the year. So you're welcome to join. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Beata, for joining with us today. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.